Run It Back Nation, what is good? It is your boy DJ Eastwood, Run It Back Philly. No frauds, no fanboys, no intros. Thanks for joining me on this beautiful Sunday. We're just going to talk real quick about something last night that I absolutely loved that is making me very happy about this Sixers team and the future of this Sixers team. Give me 1,000 likes on the video. Subscribe to the channel. Turn your notification bell on. Let's go, man. Here it is. Nick Nurse, in his post-game press conference, talking about Tyrese Maxey. He was asked a question about Tyrese Maxey last game and how Tyrese kind of struggled in the first half, wasn't necessarily aggressive in the first half. And here's what he said.
It felt like a quieter night for Tyrese in the first half. What does it say about his growth as a young player to be able to have the fourth quarter he did, finish with 22, 5, and 10, and all
it's not enough. It's not enough. He's too good to have a quiet first half. He's got to not get into those modes where he's not being more aggressive. I'm not criticizing him. I'm just trying to keep him employing that he needs to be more aggressive. He's too good at beating people off the dribble. He's too good a shooter to not take more chances, his own chances. So we're going to keep working on that a little bit, but I'm glad that he bounced back. We started calling a few things for him. You probably saw we ran the same play about 7 straight times, and then we flipped it around and ran the same thing going the other direction, and he came off and hit a 3 one time, and he drove in one time and laid it in, So again, like sometimes when the ball isn't finding you or you're not as aggressive as we'd like you to be, we try to manufacture some things to get them aggressive, and there's a little bit of what was going on in the fourth.
The Sixers have a coach. The Sixers have a coach. The Sixers, roll down, put the window down. I want everybody to know outside. The Philadelphia 76ers have a coach. Oh my God. I'm telling you guys, man, and people that think I'm freaking out for no reason, we watched this team for how many years? They have not had a competent NBA head coach for how many years? I love everything about Nick Nurse's answer to this question. Tyrese Maxey was not having a great first half. And Nick says, yeah, it's not enough. It's not enough. He's too damn good to be passive in the first half. And Tyrese just turned 23 years old. But we just went through an era where a coach was trying to turn Tyrese Maxey into what he was in the first half last night, which is a second, third, fourth option, and a guy that's just going to get the ball to Tobias and get the ball to Joel Embiid, get the ball to James Harden. Actually, we could go back to when James Harden first got here. There's the clip on NBA TV of Doc Rivers telling Tyrese Maxey not to shoot the ball, or telling Tyrese Maxey to second guess himself before he shoots the ball. He literally said to him, I know I've said this a million times, but for those that haven't heard it, Doc Rivers told Tyrese Maxey, every shot you take is a shot that James could have, is a shot that Joel could have, is a shot that Tobias could have. He told him to second guess himself. And I was irate. I could not believe somebody who's supposed to be one of the best coaches of all time. I'm having allergy issues, man. I couldn't believe that somebody who was supposed to be one of the best coaches of all time would tell a young player to second guess himself. Now you have a coach, and when James Harden got here, we saw James Harden motivating Tyrese Maxey on the floor. Remember when James first got here, before he was playing, he was on the sideline with the mask on during COVID. He was pulling his mask down, telling Tyrese, that's what you do. That's what you do. And I was like, James Harden is being more of a motivational coach to Tyrese Maxey than the coach of the team. And I'll always shout out James Harden for that. I loved what he did for Tyrese Maxey when he first got here. You now have a coach that's looking at players and saying, it's not enough. I don't care who you are. It's not enough. You need to be more aggressive in the first half. You're too good off the dribble. You're too good of a shooter. You are too good of a player to play that way. And to some of the speeches we heard from Nick Nurse when he ripped into Kyle Lowry and Kawhi Leonard in Toronto. This is what NBA players need, bro. You can be an NBA player. You still need someone to say, hey, what are you doing? And that's what I was saying to Romp the other night when we were talking about it. Seems like Joel Embiid's playing more physical tonight or this season. And I said, yeah, I feel like Nick Nurse saw that first Bucks game and said, what are you doing, man? You're bigger than him. Go through him. Use your body. Go through him. Put him inside the basket. And I wouldn't be shocked if last night, the way that Joel Embiid was playing against Yusuf Nurkic, flopping around, asking for calls, not going hard to the rim. I wouldn't be surprised if at halftime Nurse said to him, hey, this ain't how you play. You're letting him get in your head. You're getting frustrated. Go at him. And in the third quarter, Joel Embiid got Eubanks in the paint, bodied him, shouldered the hell out of him about 17 times. The Sixers have a coach. The Sixers have a coach who's holding players accountable, who's motivating young players, and it's just you're seeing the benefit of that. You're seeing it. We could talk about Kelly Oubre and how he's off to the hottest start of his entire career. We could talk about a lot of things. But this coach is looking at individual players and trying to maximize their skill sets, trying to be strategic with his lineups, trying to put every player in the best position that's going to help them individually and help the team overall. And he's pushing guys and he's holding guys accountable and he's saying, hey, that's not how you play. That's not good enough. I need more. I need more than that. I absolutely love this from Nick Nurse. I'm so happy the Sixers have a coach. And how far do you think this can go? How far do you think this can go? The Sixers had Larry Brown, I think, for 10 years. And even with a lackluster roster in that 2001 Allen Iverson era, they were a contender. 5 out of those 10. 6, 7 out of those 10. They were always competitive. You now have the best roster. Let's look at it. Seriously. This is with Joel Embiid being the superstar that he is, and you got Tyrese Maxey, Kelly Oubre, Tobias Harris playing the way that he's playing. But you have more talent on this team than you have the most talent on this team right now than, we could say 2019, although I hated some of the fits with Tobias and Jimmy Butler together and things like that. But in the past couple of years, you have the most talent you've had since the 80s. But you didn't have a coach. Now you have the most talent you've had since the 80s, and you have a coach who's clearly doing it the right way, has multiple championships to his name because of the way that he coaches, the 2 in the British League, 1 in the G League, 1 in the NBA. You might have 10 plus years starting right now. I don't want to, Eastwood, you're going crazy. You didn't play anybody good yet. We got to wait. Call me crazy if you want to. You might have, starting right now, 10 plus years of the 76ers being contenders. You might have right now 10 plus years. You know how happy that makes me? Do you know how many years I watched this team suck ass? Do you know how happy that makes me? You only live one time. I'm in my 30s. You're telling me I might get the next 10 plus years of competitive contending basketball from the Philadelphia 76ers, and we're talking after Joel Embiid. Because Tyrese Maxey just turned 23. I'm insanely happy right now about this team. I'm insanely happy right now about this team. And I do want to say this before I get up out of here. Because I ripped into Daryl Morey this offseason more than maybe I've ever ripped into a general manager. Actually, no. When Brett Brown and Elton Brand were interim GM and all that, that was a horrendous situation. But I ripped into Daryl Morey this offseason. And in the James Harden situation, Daryl Morey was facing his back was against the wall. If he flopped on this James Harden situation, he might be out of a job. He might be out of the NBA as a general manager. because of the way the Ben Simmons thing went down and so forth. And I just want to say, Daryl Morey, you handled the James Harden situation perfectly. You were patient. You're the most patient GM I've ever seen. You were resilient. You refused to bend to the Clippers' wishes, to James Harden's wishes, to whatever it was. And I'm sorry, Daryl Morey. I'm sorry for ripping into you this offseason. I was wrong. You did it the right way. You sat there and you said, what's best for this team? I don't care what James Harden wants. I don't care what the Clippers want. I'm not going to make a decision just out of emotion. What's best for this team? And you did it the right way. Thank you, Daryl Morey. And the Kelly Oubre signing has been unbelievable so far. That's all I got, man. Go Birds!